Hello everyone, this is Bill, the Knee Pain Guru. I wanted to create this video. I've been kind of keeping my finger on the pulse of this whole coronavirus thing that's going on, and although I don't believe it's important to panic around the situation, it's important to educate yourself and understand the magnitude of what is going on with this. There are a couple of things that I've been paying attention to over the past several days was some reports out of Italy, which the entire country right now is on lockdown. And the date of this video is Wednesday, March 11th. There's also, this morning, there was information that came through that the governor of North Carolina has also put a state of emergency for the state of North Carolina, primarily because of the how quickly this virus spreads. And although there is initial reports of what they're saying, they don't know how fatal this is. I'm all for being prepared, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And I wanted to create this video primarily because I want you to be prepared as well. And everything that I'm going to share with you, I've been doing for years. This is in my own medicine cabinet at home. I will preface all of that information that I am not a doctor, and anything I'm going to share in this video today, make sure you check out with your doctor or a licensed healthcare professional first before moving forward with anything. But this is what I found that has kept me healthy, that has gotten me past pneumonia a couple of times without antibiotics. So I know this works from my own personal experience. Everything that I'm going to share, once again, I use myself as a guinea pig first, and I wanted to prepare my friends, my family, my loved ones. So if you're receiving this, you are on that list. And I wanted to share this with you as far as how I deal with colds and flus, and that whole coronavirus thing is going to fall into that category. Now, I will say that there's a lot of people, including government and all that, they're given their basic things on how to deal with it, which is wash your hands, how to make homemade sanitizer, don't touch your face, sneeze or cough into a tissue, get plenty of sleep, exercise moderately, do stress, meditation, relaxation work, and stay positive and laugh, which is all great stuff. Kind of when the shit hits the fan, you want to have something that you can really implement that will help you. And from my understanding, this virus is very abusive to the lungs, and a lot of people that are not making it to the other side of the virus, not recovering, it's because of lung issues. So I want to give you some real actionable tools that can help you whenever you kind of feel the tickle in your throat or the stuff in your sinuses or whatever else is going on. So all of this stuff that's being out there that's in general on the internet, I think is great. Sleep, resting, don't touch your face, staying out of public places, all that kind of stuff is really great, but I want to give you some actionable things. Now, it's a pretty extensive list, and I will put links to the things that I have below in terms of where you can find it on Amazon, or you can go to a local drugstore or Walmart or Target, whatever it is, so you can get this for yourself wherever you live. Understand that there's layers to this, that it's not just necessarily you're getting sick. The speed at which people are going to get sick, once again, these initial reports, is going to make issues in a lot of other realms more difficult. Meaning, the report that I got out of Milan last night was that the hospitals are backed up because they don't have enough to handle the numbers of people that are getting sick. So the the doctors in the ER and all of that are having to determine who can be helped and who can't, which means people are dying because the capacity of the system isn't there. So the earlier you can catch these things, the earlier you could pay attention to when you start feeling that tickle in your throat or in the sinuses or whatever headache that comes on. This is what I want to share with you, that you can do that so you or those that are around you, you don't have to end up in the ER in a situation where they're determining whether they can help you or not. So here we go. First and foremost, and I got this strategy. This is what I got over pneumonia twice with. This was a couple of years ago. There was a combination of living in a house that had some mold issues going on, as well as a lot of emotional stuff. For some of you know the legal stuff I was dealing with my daughter. So there was a lot of things going on in my life that made my immune system a little depressed as far as that goes. So this is what I used to knock out pneumonia twice. And this is what is known as a nebulizer. It's like a humidifier, but you breathe it in. There is liquid that goes in here, and I'm going to go into details on that. As far as the strategy that goes with it, you could pick these up on Amazon. I got this for $40. It came with this hose and this breathing tube. It came with the initial thing. You may want to order a few more of them just to have on hand. What we're using in this is and this is what was ordered, was a 3% food grade hydrogen peroxide. This I cut down to a 1% solution with distilled water. So I would use 1 cup of the hydrogen peroxide, and I would use 2 cups of distilled water, which would dilute it down to a 1% solution. So if you're getting, this is about a quart, you would get about 3/4 of a gallon out of one of these. You can, what you'll be doing is putting this solution, after it's mixed up, putting the solution into this reservoir here. You can see, you fill it up to the line, and I would, especially when full-blown pneumonia, coughing my head off, 10 minutes every hour. I would work with that until the coughing started to subside, and then I would back it off to maybe every couple of hours, maybe cut it down to 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. But you'll get a sense when it's starting to heal whatever is going on. At least that was my experience. What I did find was this was also great if I ever had, the sinus thing going on, sore throat coming on, whatever it was. This strategy is phenomenal, whether it be a cold, a flu, whatever it is. The more your body can get ahead of the process of what's going on, the easier your body is going to be able to recover from it. You're giving your body what it needs in terms of helping the resources. When you're getting sick, your nervous system, your neurology is kind of behind the curve as far as the healing process goes. And this helps you knock out the viruses or bacteria, whatever else is going on that will help your nervous system catch up. And this is, of course, all of the other things, the rest, relaxation, meditation, all that other happy thoughts and whatever they're telling you basically out on the internet. So that is the nebulizer and the 3% food grade hydrogen peroxide. That's a great strategy for helping you get ahead of that cold, flu, whatever it is. Now, once again, I'll put those links down below in the description. I'll probably also work on a separate document that will have the description of this stuff and the links where you can go check it out and figure out how to do that for yourself. Okay, the next piece. Now, I will make a distinction. The food grade hydrogen peroxide is apples and oranges compared to this hydrogen peroxide that you can get at a local drugstore. Food grade hydrogen peroxide they will distinctly say food grade hydrogen peroxide. So it isn't like you would use your regular hydrogen peroxide you can get at the drugstore in that. Not good. No bueno. We want to use a different hydrogen peroxide for this other strategy that I've used. This is also a 3% hydrogen peroxide, but this is what you can get at a Rite Aid, a Walgreens, regular drugstore. This I use also as a strategy to address viruses and bacteria that can enter through your ears. This is not very well known. I have a tendency sometimes to get kind of like pain in my ears. This will also happen when I'm kind of getting the sinus stuff or the sore throat stuff. It's all kind of in the same area. And this will help you address whatever's going on that can enter through your ears. Viruses and bacteria can enter through your ears. What I would do, I would get my phone, set it for 10 minutes. Set the alarm for 10 minutes or a timer for 10 minutes. Then what I would do is get the hydrogen peroxide and pour a little bit in the cap, just enough to cover the bottom or the inside of the cap, just enough. We don't want a whole lot in there. And what I do is I will pour that, tilt my head to the side. You'll also want a towel that you aren't going to be concerned about getting wet, or you could use a tissue. And I will pour this into my ear. Now, when it first gets in the ear, sometimes there's a little bit of an achy feeling. And that achy feeling gradually goes away because the hydrogen peroxide is attaching to whatever's going on in the ear and killing the viruses and bacteria. After that initial ache goes away, then it'll tickle. It's like this tickle, kind of like scratching an itch you can't quite get to, and hang out in there. I do it 10 minutes. I do it 10 minutes on the right ear, turn over, do it 10 minutes on the left ear. And what ends up happening is a lot of times the headaches that I have or whatever is going on will be gone. It knocks some things out really well. So that is the strategy of getting ahead of whatever's going on, sickness in this area. So we had the nebulizer with the food grade hydrogen peroxide. We have the regular hydrogen peroxide that I use to address what's going on in the ear. The next piece is neti pot. You may have heard of a neti pot, know about a neti pot. The reason that they don't want you to touch your face or your nose or pick your nose or whatever the situation is because viruses can get up into your sinuses, you get it down into your lungs, and then it kind of wreaks havoc. I've knocked out countless sinus infections, which it all kind of lumps together. The cold, the flu, the stuff that goes down into your lungs, it gets into your sinuses as well. The neti pot is great. How it is used is you put warm water. You want to have warm water that is not going to be too hot, because if it's too hot, it's going to burn inside of your sinuses. This end actually gets put into the top nostril, and you're tilting your head to the side, and you're allowing the water to drain through down into the sink. So you do this over the sink. That you don't use regular water. Ideally, you would use distilled water. I am on a natural spring here on the property, so I just use the water out of the tap. Get it warm enough so it doesn't bother my sinuses. I will put, I believe it's a half a teaspoon of sea salt into the warm water, and I stir it up with my finger. Put my thumb over the end. I will also, for an extra added oomph with this, is use either golden seal or olive leaf extract. They are antimicrobial, antibacterial. So you got this sinus thing going on up in your head. Sometimes nose gets stuffed up. You can't breathe. There's a lot of things going on. Doing the neti pot is absolutely phenomenal as far as clearing that out. Get a lot of that goop out of your head, which once again, this is getting your, helping your body kill this stuff that is wreaking havoc on your nervous system. I will use about 7 drops of olive leaf extract with the half of teaspoon of sea salt in the warm water and mix it up and put it through your sinuses. When you initially start doing the neti pot, it could be a little trick because there's a little tension, relaxation you have to do to open up the sinuses to allow the water to drain through. But once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. The sea salt is what keeps it from burning. I'm sure you've had that experience of swimming in a swimming pool. You turn upside down and the water gets up your nose and it just burns like crazy. If you have the right ratio of sea salt to water in this container, what ends up happening is it doesn't burn. It doesn't even feel like anything. And once again, it moves a lot of the stuff out of your sinuses, which will help you breathe, which will help you sleep better. There's layers of stuff that is benefiting from addressing what's going on here. So that is the neti pot. Once again, I'll put links down below just to cover everything. Not a doctor. This is to be, follow your doctor's instructions if you have anything like that. But understand, we're looking at the context of this emergency situation where a lot of medical professionals are going to be maxed out. So how can we take care of ourselves? How can we prepare ourselves to have these things on hand, to have the context of what we need? So we're not going to be rushing around last minute. Okay, so that's the neti pot. The other piece, this is, and I don't have the package, this stuff is called Asilo. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a homeopathic. This is what I would take the moment I start feeling anything. Sinuses, chest, cough, tickle in my throat, whatever it is, I would start taking this Asilo. Once again, it comes in a box. You can pick this up at Walgreens, Rite Aid, those types of stores. It has helped me a tremendous amount. I do remember a time when I was kind of feeling a little bit out of sorts. You wake up those mornings where it's like, I didn't sleep quite right and things feel a little weird. I took one of these and I ended up going to sleep later that morning, and I slept for an hour and a half or so, got up, and I felt fine. My girlfriend at the time felt the same way that morning that she got up, and she ended up being down for a week or so. I can only go on that. It's anecdotal evidence at best. However, once again, this is stuff that I have used time and time again for myself to leverage how my body can heal faster just using simple things that you can keep at home and use for whatever the case may be. Okay, the next is Ozone Machine. This is an Ozone Machine. I have this running at my house pretty much 24/7. Now this ozone is O3. So this creates an unstable oxygen molecule. Oxygen is O2, O3 is unstable, which means when it's produced in abundant amounts, it's going to go around and look to attach to dirt and dust and viruses and bacteria and kill them, which is good to know, especially if you're looking for an environment in your home. You want to have a place where you're not going to be immersed in those types of things. Especially they're talking about not wanting to shake hands with people, this whole coronavirus scenario, not shaking hands with people, or you shake hands with people and then you want to wash your hands before touching your face. So being very conscious of viruses and bacteria and how we interact with people is going to be prevalent. This is a layer of safety that I've continued to have in my house, in terms of killing viruses and bacteria whenever in the home. Now, just so you know, ozone is created by the crashing of water, which is why you feel so good when you're by the ocean. The rolling of the waves actually creates ozone at the seashore. So you go on vacation, you go to the seashore, there's a tendency for people to feel better because they're breathing in this ozone that is prevalent just by the crashing of the waves. This will also happen by rivers where water is crashing over rocks and there's that tumbling of the water. It creates ozone. So the energized feeling, the feeling of lightness and healthy and all that kind of stuff happens naturally when you're around the ocean or when you're around a river that has lots of crashing and tumbling water, or you can actually create this in your home with these machines. I've also seen it done. You've seen those salt lamps, same kind of concept. The heat from the salt lamp, the light inside of the salt lamp, they're pink lamps, that it lets off a small amount of ozone in the home as well. So it's something else that you can incorporate. This one is at least 15 years old, if not older. So they have newer models. They're more expensive models. There's cheaper models. There's things like that. But that is something that can be in your environment to help your family, those that are living in your home. The next piece, this is a homemade solution. I will have to put together more detailed information. This is what is called fire cider. This can be purchased at a local health food store. This can be ordered online. I make this myself because I make gallons at a time. There is onions and ginger and garlic and turmeric, rosemary, and vinegar. It's in a vinegar base. It's pretty potent stuff, really spicy. And this is what I will take a shot of the moment I start getting that sinusy kind of feeling or a headache. I have to strain it because all the good stuff is in there. I will eat straight the garlic and the onions out of their antimicrobial, antibacterial stuff that is in here. The rest of the stuff is kind of fibrous-y, so you don't want to really chew it. So I would strain the majority of this out. So that is a fire cider. I will make sure the recipe is in there to make it, if you'd like to make it yourself. Oh, horseradish. That's another thing in there. so it gets pretty spicy, and you can tweak and adjust it to make your own. You could also get fire cider, like I said. They sell it at local health food stores. You can get it online as well. But that's what I choose to do. The next piece is oil pulling. This is coconut oil. This would be after I brush my teeth, I floss my teeth, and then I would do oil pulling, which you put about a tablespoon of the coconut oil in my mouth, and I'll kind of swish it around. I'll do it for 20 minutes. What ends up happening is the coconut oil is antimicrobial, antibacterial, and swishing it around in my mouth helps pull a lot of the bacteria that gets into the mouth, that is in the mouth from eating and all sorts of stuff we have going on in our mouth, that pulls it out and into the oil. And then after 20 minutes, you spit the oil out. You don't keep it in there, spit it out into the yard or into a garbage can or something like that. And what all of these things are doing, it's helping the body that can get a little bit behind the curve because you didn't get enough sleep, you drank too much wine, you're around people that were coughing and sneezing, you're getting sick, whatever it is. My idea is the more I can give my body the help that it needs, so it doesn't have to do the work. It doesn't have to do all the work. If I'm drawing bacteria that's in my mouth that my body needs to deal with as a result of daily living, in addition to the viruses and bacteria that it's trying to fight off, keeping me from being sick, I just give my nervous system, my body, a better chance of healing faster. I also have a tea that I make. This is very, very potent tea. I would take a lemon, fresh squeezed lemon. I would take grated ginger. I would take crushed garlic, and I would take cayenne pepper and put it in a pot of water and boil that and get that, make it into a tea. Now this tea is going to be super spicy. This tea is going to be super strong. And what you can do is when that is done, I would strain that off, put it into a cup, and mix it with a little bit of honey. That will basically, it soothes my throat, it soothes my chest, it'll get into my sinuses because of the cayenne and other things like that. So there is some teas that can be used, and all the stuff, the ginger, the garlic, the cayenne. What else did I say in there? Ginger, garlic, cayenne, and I forgot the other one. Anyhow, it helps the body heal, gets ahead of things. So if you have questions, please reach out. I talk about topics like this in my coaching, my knee club coaching thing. And what I will do in this video, you're receiving this video, there will be a link down there. I'm waiving the entrance fee into the program. If you would like to get involved, you can click on that link, register, and all of it's set up. If you have lots of questions, you want more support, whatever it is, I just wanted to provide that, get this out to you so you can start preparing these things. It's so important to be prepared. I don't believe in being in fear around this. It's what is, everybody's calling it a pandemic. Everyone's calling this coronavirus. Like the mortality rate of it is significantly higher than the average flu during your average flu season. And I don't believe in going into that fear. I believe in being prepared and cautiously optimistic, making sure you have the tools. Something happens, it's going to be a lot easier for someone to help you, for me to help you, someone else to help you, that you have the tools in your environment that are going to allow you to be able to help yourself. I don't like being a victim. I don't like that mentality. It serves no one for anyone to be a victim. We just need to slow down the process and look, well, what tools do I have available to be able to move forward and start addressing what I have going on. One more thing that's just popping into my head: peppermint oil. It's an essential oil. Peppermint oil, just a dab of it on your finger, on your temples, shifts headaches amazingly fast. It works really, really well. Just remember that. I want you to understand a lot of these things I don't even think about. I just pulled all of this together this morning because it was like, okay, I want to make this video. I've told a lot of friends I was going to put together this video. So be well. If you have any questions, please reach out. I will do my best to answer them. All of the information is going to be down below in the description, and I'll put together a document that you'll be able to access that has all the links as well in there. So, okay, Bill Parravano, the knee pain guru, thanking you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to me. It's been a good half hour in this presentation. I wish you well, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye-bye.